Hello, welcome to Oxford Heirlooms. In this video, we're going to attach some entredeaux and gathered lace to each of the leg hole openings. So what I have done preliminarily is I have cut two pieces of entredeaux that are a little bit longer than the length of the leg hole opening, and I've cut two pieces of lace that are 1.5 times the length of the entredeaux so that I can gather it. Now I need to trim my excess batiste away from one side of the entredeaux, like I always do. And then I can gather the lace and begin to zigzag it on. But this will take me a couple of minutes to cut all this batiste, trim it away, and get the lace gathered. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm about to gather my lace, but let me show you what I've done. Since this entredeaux has a little bit of length to it, I folded it in half and put a blue mark halfway down the middle of it, and I folded my lace in half also. So what I'll do is I'll gather the lace from both sides to more or less line the middle up and line the ends up. So let me start gathering lace. Okay, so I have the lace sewn onto one piece of entredeaux. I did go ahead and squirt it with my distilled water to make the blue lines go away. But I need to sew the second piece. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. So I will butt the lace up next to the entredeaux and begin to zigzag the lace to the entredeaux. Now I'm going to go lower my needle to make sure that I'm going in an entredeaux hole, and I'm stabbing it, so let me move the entredeaux just a little bit. There, now I'm going in a hole. So I'm going to do a couple, there we go. Okay, so I will begin to zigzag this together. I don't go real fast because this lace is fairly thin and it wants to spiral on itself. And where the gathers kind of come together, you kind of got to make sure it doesn't fold over and create a kink. Okay, so this will take me a minute to get this sewn on, so I'll be right back. Okay, now I need to pin this entredeaux along the leg hole opening, but as you can see, the leg hole opening has some curves, so what I'm going to do is about every 1/2 inch or every 3/8 of an inch, I'm going to cut a notch in the batiste in both pieces, and then it will ease into place along the leg hole opening. So let me cut my notches and use my silk pins to get the entredeaux along the edge, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got this all pinned on, and with a straight stitch, I'm going to sew the entredeaux to the edge of the leg hole opening. And I'll take my pins out as I come to them. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Just sew right to the right of the entredeaux ladder with a straight stitch. Then we'll go to the ironing board and press the entre-deux seam toward the inside and come back and zigzag. Okay, this will take me a minute to get both leg hole openings sewn, so I'll be right back. Okay, I've got both pieces of entre-deux and gathered lace sewn on. Now, before I can go to the ironing board and press, there are some areas, particularly where there's a curve here at the crotch and along the back of the little bottom in the front, the fabric is going to have to flare. So I'm going to go back, and everywhere I have a notch cut in the entre-deux, I'm going to cut a notch in the batiste of the diaper cover. And then that way, when I press it toward the inside of the garment, it will flare where it needs to. Okay, so this will take me a minute to get all these notches cut, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got that all pressed neatly toward the inside. So I'm going to set my machine to a zigzag again because I was just straight stitching. The appropriate stitch length and stitch width for sewing entre-deux. And then I will zigzag. Let's see. Yeah, my bobbin's okay. Okay, I will zigzag this fold of the fabric to the entre-deux ladder. And I'll do this to both leg hole openings. This will take me a little while to get both leg hole openings zigzagged. What I'm doing is I'm catching the fold of the fabric on the left and I'm going in the entre-deux ladder on the right. Okay, this will take me a while to do, so I'll be right back. All right, I've got that zigzagged in. Now the last thing that I need to do before I cut my buttonholes open and sew my buttons on is I need to trim away a little bit of the excess batiste from the inside of the diaper cover. I'm just kind of cutting just sort of close to the zigzag line without actually cutting it. And I'm using my specialty scissors that are made by Havel. And since I'm using them and they are not available at the big box stores, I will provide a link down below in the video description if you don't have a pair and you have gotten to the point where you need a pair. So this kind of makes a mess because I'm literally cutting off one little notch at a time. But as you see, I'm just trimming it close to the zigzag line just to make this inside seam a little bit neater. Okay, so this will take me a little while to trim both leg hole openings, so I'll be right back. Okay, I've got that trimmed. Now the ends of the entre-deux and the gathered lace are hanging out, so I'm going to use a needle and thread and tack this to the inside of the garment. Let's see if I can do this from this angle. Yeah, I'm just going to tack it to the inside so that I end up with a neater little top edge on the front and on the back. Okay, I'll do that for all 4 pieces, so that now looks nice and neat. So let me tie my thread off and I will do the other 3 corners. Okay, all 4 corners are sewn down neatly, and while I was off camera, I went ahead and marked the position of my buttons and sewed them on. So the last thing that I need to do in order to be finished with the diaper cover, let me clip a little thread right there. So I need to clip my little buttonholes open. This one. This 2. This 3. Okay. All right, now we can button this closed, and these are some little bitty baby buttons, but they're really sweet. There we go. All right, now doesn't that little diaper cover just look precious? And it buttons sort of around a little bit on the back of the diaper cover. Let me pull that elastic a little bit to stretch the fabric along through there. Okay. All right, well, that turned out really super sweet, and I really do like the embroidery up on the top, and that's going to be a nice blend with the little sack jacket. So, in the next video, we'll start working on the teacat bonnet, and I will be doing hand embroidery on the bonnet to match the diaper cover and the little sack jacket, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. Thank you.